Good morning, Dalkeith High School. I do hope that you've had a good weekend and you feel relaxed and refreshed and ready to start another week of learning. Now, I know that if you are watching this video, it probably means that you're still working at home, and I hope that you have a really positive week of working at home. I'm really excited because today we're actually beginning to reopen the school, and we are going to be having some senior phase pupils back in to do some of their practical work. So for example, this morning, we're going to be welcoming some pupils back for some art and design classes, makeup skills, music, higher photography, PE, practical cake craft and science and technology. And that is really, really exciting to have people back in the building. This afternoon we will be having some pupils in for other subjects, and then the same again throughout the week. Now, I know if you're sitting at home, you might be feeling a little bit frustrated, wishing it was you that was back. Don't worry, we will get there. Please take today as a sign that we are on that road to recovery. We're not there yet by any means at all, but it does mean today is an indication that things are really improving in the country and that we're able to start to have young people back into school. So we're not there yet for everybody, but please just be patient, just bear with us, because I absolutely know that we will get there. And for now, you just need to continue to not lose hope of that, not lose sight of that, and continue to do as well as you have been doing with your online learning. Now, you may remember a couple of weeks ago in the Monday morning assembly, I spoke to you about a time that I went up to Skye to work on to work with Columba 1400 to look at leadership, when I was working with lots of head teachers from around the country. And we talked at that point about the Columban values, and we picked two values to look at that point. We looked at perseverance, and remember I said perseverance isn't about if at first you don't succeed, try again. Really, perseverance is about if at first you don't succeed, try something different. And the other value that we looked at was that one of awareness, and I spoke to you about being aware of what's happening around you, and thinking about the dynamics in your life, the dynamics in your family. Think about your neighbours. Do they need a pint of milk? Do they need you just to wave over the garden fence at them? So, but also we talked about your own self-awareness and thinking about how you feel as well. So this morning I want to talk about another two Columban values, and the values I want to speak about this morning are focus and creativity. And I'm going to speak to you about them in a way that I hope is going to be applicable to the lives that we're currently leading. Okay, so I want to speak to you first about focus. Now, I'm sure you've heard your teachers say, focus on your work. Or perhaps your families at the moment, because you're working at home, saying focus on what you have to do. And at the moment, I think that's really important that we do focus on certain things. I don't know about you, but I very much like to be in control of my life. And with so much uncertainty in the world around us because of the pandemic, sometimes I find that a little bit scary. A bit worrying that I don't have control over all those big things that are out there that are having a huge influence in my life. So what really helps me is to focus on the things that I do have influence on, focus on the things that I can actually fix in some ways, because I can't fix a pandemic, but there's things that I can fix. So for example, although I can't say to you when I'm going to be having you all back in school, and that could really cause me a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress, but instead what I'm focusing on is just making sure that I've got it as right as I can get it at the moment in terms of our plans for reopening today. And the next thing that I will be focusing on is writing the plans along with other members of SLT for when we're able to reopen, hopefully, fingers crossed, on the 15th of March to the rest of the senior phase as well. So I would give you that piece of advice as well. There'll be lots of things out there that you're worried about. You'll be worried about, when are you going to be able to see your friends again? When you're going to be able to go to a party again? When you're going to be able to come into school? When you're going to be able to go on holiday? And we just don't know the answers to those questions just now. So focus on the things that you can fix. Okay, so focus on, for example, doing your very best piece of work. Focus on, example, if you're going out for a run, trying to get your best time. If you're doing if you're practicing a musical instrument, for example, focus on being the best that you can be there. So just focus on the things that you can influence, because I certainly think that that helps my mental health, and I think that will be the same for you as well. The other value that I learned about through the Columbia experience was creativity. And again, I want to speak to you about creativity in a way that I think is applicable to our current situation. Now, true confessions of a head teacher. I'm a fairly decent cook. I'm a rubbish baker, and always have been, and I don't quite know why that is, but I'm really not very good at baking. I think it's probably because I don't have an awful lot of patience at times, and I do think that baking requires a degree of patience, and I certainly I don't really have a huge amount of creativity when it comes to decorating cakes as well. So one of the things that I have done through the first lockdown, and I've been doing a lot through the second lockdown, and I certainly did a lot last week when we were on holiday, because we couldn't get out the door because of the snow, was to really develop my creative skills through baking and learning to bake. And I would say I'm now actually able to turn out a pretty decent cake and to decorate it in a way that is quite acceptable. And I've actually found that to be really, really helpful again in terms of my mental well-being, just being able to be creative. Now, I'm using baking as an example there, but you can be creative in so many different ways. And I've been very impressed actually by the degree of creativity that you're actually showing. I've had a look at some of the work that you've been submitting to your teachers across the school, but in particular in the expressive arts faculty, and it's absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. So continue to look for opportunities to be developing your creative skills and enjoy and indulge yourself in that creativity, because I really do think it helps me to just settle and calm, and absolutely helps me to take away thinking about everything that I can't actually have that influence over. So that's the two things I want you to think about this week then. So focus on the things that you can fix, and look for outlets for your creativity that will actually help you get through the current very, very challenging situation that we're living in. So you're doing grand. You're doing really, really well with your online learning. Continue to do that. Take today as a sign that we are on the road to recovery. As I say, I don't know when we're going to have you all back, but please just stick to all the rules that we all need to stick to, and we will get there all the faster. Okay, thank you very much.